Yes, I was supposed to be on a 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. flight. I clearly couldn't get to the airport. Um, I was in lockdown, so they got me on this flight now. The Route 91 Harvest Fest. It's the fourth year that they've been doing it, and I've gone since day one. And it's an event that I do with my friends. I'm sorry that there's background noise. I'm at the airport. Okay. Yes. Um, we were standing behind the ADA section, which is to the left of the stage. It kind of flanks the main area where people stand. My girlfriend is, she has to use a wheelchair when we attend events like that. She can't walk well, so she suffers from MS. So we have to push her around at that event, and they provide seating for people who have that need or requirement. So she was in that area, and we were standing right behind her. So Jason Aldean took the stage, and I believe he was the third song in. And in the middle of the song, we heard a series of popping sounds, five or six of them, and um, some of us looked at each other and thought that it was strange, like why there were fireworks. And there was a pause, and then immediately following that was a rapid succession of gunshots. And at that point, Jason and his band dropped all their instruments and fled the stage, and the stage went dark. And we realized that it was a bad situation, um, because you could understand the pattern at that point. He was draining the clips in his rifle, and then he was reloading, and then he was firing, and it was constant. Now, I've watched the news out here, and they said that he shot for almost 20 minutes, and I would guess based on what we were trying to do to get out of that, it was that long. It felt like an eternity for sure. Um, so people just started scrambling. Yeah, people started scrambling because it's an open air event. There aren't a lot of places to go. What we did was, because my girlfriend can't run, we pulled her out of the wheelchair, threw her to the ground, and dragged her to um, the back side of the stage, sort of, that they have this ADA set up on. So we were nuzzled against that, and people were just diving there looking for protection. And you could hear the bullets ricocheting off of the the structure that we were hiding behind. And we were all laying down, and at some point, a young girl came running towards us, screaming that she had been shot. And we grabbed her and pulled her down to the ground because there were still gunshots going on. And my one girlfriend actually took off her shirt and wrapped the wound so that we could get her out of there. Um, I don't really know, like, it was kind of slow motion, but at some point, a gentleman approached me from behind and grabbed my shoulder. And again, I was laying on the ground up against this structure, and he said, "Get up and run this way, run through this tunnel." So I screamed that my girlfriend couldn't run, and he said something that he was going to help her get up. "Don't worry about it, go." And as I was running toward Tropicana, there were SWAT and the Nevada Police Department screaming at us to keep running, run in that direction, keep running. And then I ran in a back door along with everybody else of the Tropicana, and immediately could see that there were a lot of wounded people. One girl, young girl in particular, had been shot 2 times in both of her legs, and I saw the wounds, and they were horrific. And she was very calm, but I'm sure she was in shock at that point. And people were just traumatized. Some were weeping. I mean, you don't know what to do. We had no idea what was going on outside because they kept bringing people in, and people were getting frightened and would randomly start running through the hotel. And the hotel security was trying to explain to us that they had a grip on the situation, but we needed to remain calm, stay in this area. And I would gather about an hour passed, and they moved us to the basement of the hotel where they said that we would be secure. And then at that point, they said that they were then going to move us upstairs to a different area, but we were going to go through a thorough pat down security. They wanted to check every single person in the building at that point, but they locked all the resorts at that point. Las Vegas Boulevard was completely shut down. There was no in or out in any of the casinos, and they took us to this other room. They gave us towels, they gave us sheets to try to keep us comfortable, water, and we were there for a good couple hours before someone from the police department came in and announced that we were still going to be there. They were going to be doing a sweep of all the hotels, floor by floor, room by room, and until that task was completed, we would not be released. So I think I, I well, she started walking and crawling with help of others because then somebody took her wheelchair, so we couldn't get her in the wheelchair. And then at some point we spotted it because as we were all running toward the Tropicana, the seriously injured people were literally being thrown in taxi cabs and pickup trucks, and the police were ordering them to go directly to the hospital. It was just, it was chaos. But to the credit of law enforcement, it was chaos for us, the people that were experiencing it, but for law enforcement, they did an outstanding job. We we felt very secure once they finally showed up, but we still didn't have any answers. So that just took us probably about 7 hours till they finally released us back to our hotel. So here we are at the Luxor. There is, they have this special staging setup for ADA people, and it's an elevated platform to the left of the stage so that they can see the performance. So when the gunshots started, we dove behind the platform because we couldn't tell which direction the bullets were coming because they were ricocheting off of everything. So that's kind of how that happened. No, no, they took the wounded. Yeah, they were evacuating the wounded as fast as they could get transportation. And then they were corralling us, obviously, to keep us safe. And I I don't know where she is. I hope she's okay. I don't know. I'm traumatized, definitely traumatized. You Everybody reacts differently, and in that situation, I didn't panic, but while it was happening, I thought, wow, is this it? Is this how it's going to end for me? It goes through your mind because we couldn't figure out how to escape it. And then once we got into a safe environment, it just kind of started to set in. And then once we got back to the hotel, we definitely started crying because we just can't grasp what we just went through. So it's a wave of emotions for sure. I'm connecting through Denver, so I'll be arriving to Cleveland around 7 tonight. I cannot tell. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I fly United. Thank you. I live in Medina. No, actually, she lives in California, so she drives in and we meet every year. Yeah, so I'm headed back on my own and I cannot wait to touch down in Cleveland and stare at green trees and well, not green anymore, but I'm yeah, colorful trees, birds singing and chirping. Happy. Oh, awesome, fabulous. So I can't wait to get home. All right. Thank you. Okay, sure. You're welcome. Bye.